The New Zealand Kiwis have now announced their 21-man squad for the upcoming 2024 Pacific Championships. Let's take a look at the list and let's have a little talk about them. The New Zealand Kiwis squad includes Erin Clark, Phoenix Crossland, James Fisher-Harris, Peta Hiku, Jahrome Hughes, Jamayne Isaako, Keano Kini, Casey McLean, Griffin Neame, Charnze Nicoll-Klokstad, Kodi Nikorima, Marata Niukore, Isaiah Papali'i, Jordan Riki, Scott Sorensen, Joseph Tarpany, Leo Thompson, Matthew Timoko, Trent Tolau, Will Warbrick, and now Fahu White. So there's definitely a few really exciting players in this team list. First of all, Peta Hiku has had a really strong season with Hull Kingston Rovers. He's playing in the grand final this weekend, so hopefully he has a good performance there before going into the Pacific Championships for flying back over. Now, he's one great option in the centres. Another is Matthew Timoko. Last year, I didn't know too much about him. I hadn't seen that much the season leading up to it from him. But that series from him, his individual performances, I think were fantastic. And that was the first time I looked at him and saw an individual that can create moments from nothing. And centres like that are extremely valuable. Now, I've not seen him do it so much this season for the Raiders, but if he can replicate that again for New Zealand, then he's going to be very difficult to bring down, even for good defences like Australia, and we'll see defensively for Tonga, but Timoko and Peta Hiku could be real challenges on the edges. Another player that I'm really happy for is Phoenix Crossland. I think he's had a decent season, a little bit under the radar with the Newcastle Knights. Obviously, we always look at players like Kalen Ponga, even Bradman Best as the ones for the Knights team that really shine, but I think Phoenix Crossland in the number 9 role, coming off the bench at 14, or even playing as the number 7. You know, there's a few different roles he can take on for this team. Maybe they put him at 13, just depending on how situations go. But he's a reliable and flexible player that they can really sort of lean into. Now, my favourite player in the entire NRL, Keano Kini. I love this guy. He's an absolute joy to watch. Now, I think Charnze Nicoll-Klokstad is probably going to get the number 1 jersey for the majority of these games, but if I get the chance to see Keano Kini, I'm just going to enjoy it because he is just so fun to watch. And I've said this before on TikTok videos, I've said this before, the YouTube videos. To me, he's like a coach's dream, and the saying, he would move mountains or die trying, was written specifically for people like Keano Kini. Just give him the ball and he'll run. It's not just like mindless running, it's difficult to bring down. He's so small but just runs with so much aggression and speed. It's just, you need him to do something, he'll go do it. He just works so incredibly hard and looks dangerous with the ball. So I love Kini. I think he's a fantastic player, and hopefully he features a lot in this tournament. A few of the players that I'm quite happy for, there's Warbrick, White and Tolau. I think they've all had really solid seasons with their clubs. Warbrick has been very reliable on that right wing for Storm. White, I think, has been a pretty strong addition when coming off the bench, or even starting on some occasions for the Roosters. I think offers a very solid base in the forwards. And Tolau, I think, has been very strong defensively, especially as well. But one thing I'm quite looking forward to is the partnership of Jahrome Hughes, who has been fantastic this season in the NRL, Dally M, winner, of course, and Kodi Nikorima. Now, I do like Dylan Brown. I think he's a good player. But first of all, when New Zealand are without Jahrome Hughes, we saw this especially at the Rugby League World Cup a couple of years ago, they were a little bit clueless. They had no sense of direction. Dylan Brown couldn't really take that on. Now, he, for the Parramatta Eels, has had to deal with a lot without Mitchell Moses for a lot of fixtures this season. But with Kodi Nikorima in there at number 6, that might take a lot of pressure off Jahrome Hughes, because Nikorima can do a lot of the types of things that Hughes can do. It's not at the same level, of course, but he's the same type of player. He can take on the kicking game, he can take on the short-range kicking game, the run game, exciting player through the middle and on the edges. I think Nikorima is a really good complement to Jahrome Hughes. We're moving on from Foran, moving on from Brown. I think that's a real good combination there. So there's a lot of exciting players in the forwards, but I think the backs and the edges, I think, could be really exciting. And can they stay dominant over Australia? It's going to be very tricky to do, But I certainly think they've got the individuals to do that. But let me know your thoughts on this team. Let me know who you would include, who you wouldn't include. But that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.